Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this Dell XPS 159560. So first what you're going to want to do is lift up this little cover, and we'll remove the two screws under here using a PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver. Okay, so just remove those two. Alright, then we're going to use a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver, and we're going to remove all the screws around the frame. Okay. Alright, just like this. You want to keep the screws in order because they are different size, shapes, and lengths. You don't want to get them mixed up. If you mix them up, you can actually cause damage to the computer. Okay, just like this. And once you have all 10 screws out, we're going to have to pop the cover open. We might have to pry it open with a pry tool, depending on some models are harder to open than others, so we'll see here. Alright, so once we got all of these screws out, we're going to try and pop this open. So sometimes what I'm able to do is on the back here, you can kind of grab this and pull it up, okay? And sometimes you can pull this up and get the cover to release, just like that. I don't know if you heard the pops. Okay, just like this. We're going to go on this side, see if we can pop this side up. No? Okay, since we can't pop that side up, we're going to keep going down this side. Okay, let's see if we can pop this up. Sometimes it helps to pull the cover this way as you kind of pull it up. So let's see here. Okay, if it doesn't come out. Let's see here. It's somewhat coming out. Alright, I'm going to adjust it so I can pull up from the side a bit better. See if pushing it forward helps. No, maybe a little bit. Okay, pushing it this way actually helped while I kind of lifted it up. And there you go. Now we got the whole cover. Alright, you want to be careful. It felt like something was stuck on the bottom. So I guess it was stuck because they have this pad here for the thermal pad for the M.2 SSD. This is a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. Alright, so it's really dusty in here. This person's computer, it kind of powers up. It doesn't show anything on the screen. So I'm trying to see if I can spot anything that looks like for sure is damaged. I do see like signs of like liquid residue here. So I have a feeling something got spilled on it. I also noticed there was liquid residue on the bottom here underneath this cover. So if you look in here, it's like maybe some coffee or something spilled in it. Anyways, we're gonna continue looking. I don't see any specific components that are destroyed by liquid, but anyways, so there's an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here. If you want to remove that, you can use the PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver. Just take that one screw out. The SSD pops up like this, and then you can wiggle and pull this out. Alright, so I'm gonna leave this in there. But yeah, it does come out. I don't know if that's liquid residue or if that's just the way the SSD was made. It looks kind of weird and gunky. Like on the edges here, there's like stuff there, it looks like. But I don't think that's liquid residue because it looks like they put some kind of paste or something here. Okay, so we're gonna screw that back down. Alright, and then the RAM here, I'm gonna have to take all of that out, but the RAM is 16 gigs PC4 2400T, so there is 32 gigs of RAM in here. If you wanted to change it, I don't know if they have 32 gig sticks for these, but PC4 2400T is what you want. Alright, put this stick of RAM back in, goes in at an angle like that, clip it back down. Sometimes these come loose or they get dirty, and then you might have to like wipe the pins like this. Make sure that you have yourself grounded if you do that, so you don't get static to damage the thing. Alright, we're going to actually remove the battery, so we're going to take this one PH1 or JS1 screw out. Then we're going to lift this piece out of the way. Under here is the LCD or LVDS connector. We're going to take out the battery. The battery model number is here, 6GTPY. So if you need that, you can order the battery. Okay, hopefully you can actually read that. I don't know if it's clear enough, but alright. So we're going to take out the screws holding this in place. Again, you want to keep the screws in order because they are different size, shapes, and lengths. Alright, so we'll remove that one. Remove this one. 2. Remove this one. 3. Remove this one. 4. This one. 5. Zoom in a tiny bit more. And the last one up here, 6. Alright. So now that we got all 6 screws out, we should be able to lift the battery up. Okay, so I'm lifting from the back here. Actually, there's one more screw up here I just noticed. Alright, make sure you remove that one as well. Okay, now we can lift the battery up. So this connector here, to remove it, let me zoom in. So this connector, there's a very slight lip here on the plastic part. So I use my fingernails to grab that, and then I use that to kind of wiggle and pull the connector back, just like this. And that's how I remove the battery. So again, here's the battery model number, in case you couldn't read it before, 6GTPY. Alright. So underneath here you can see, after pressing or removing the battery, I always like to open up the computer and then press and hold the power button for about 10 to 15 seconds just to drain any power so you don't risk damaging internal components. This is very important if you're doing anything with the LCD or LVDS connector. Okay. Alright, so underneath here we're going to see, let's zoom out again. Alright, so you got the connector here for the fingerprint sensor, the trackpad connector here. Got this connector which connects the keyboard backlight as well as the keyboard connector, and then you also got this here for these are the LEDs and I believe also the microphones here. Okay, this is the LCD LVDS connector. You got the DC jack connector here. If you want to remove that, there's 3 screws you have to remove for this. You probably also have to at the very minimum thread the LCD connector out. It looks like the fan is kind of trapping it, so you would have to undo these screws. I don't want to do too much with this because I don't want to risk making the problem worse if I don't need to. But you'll have to remove these 3 screws and then you can pull up the hinge. Usually the way I get the hinge up is after I remove the screws, I lift the screen slightly like this and then put it back down, and that'll create a gap, and then I can use that gap to pull the hinge all the way up. Alright, you also got the wireless connector here, and then you got the fan connector here as well as here. And this, I believe, is for the webcam microphone setup. Actually, probably just the webcam since the microphones are down here. And that's pretty much all there is inside this model that I see. I'm going to clean out the dust. I'll be back, and then we're going to put it back together. Alright, so I'll be back in a bit. Alright, so I cleaned it all out. Alright, you can see the fans are a lot cleaner, and this is also cleaner. I'm not sure where this rubber piece came from, so I'm actually going to have to open this and find out where. I'm going to have to rewatch my video and find out where this came from. But anyways, I'm going to put the battery back, at least temporarily, just to power it on and see. But basically, we're going to reassemble the whole thing. Just get the battery connector back in, pinch the 2 pieces together to reconnect it. Put that back in place. Okay, we're going to put back the screws here. So this piece you want to put slightly at an angle to get it here underneath. Okay, we'll get the screwdriver. And I'm not going to do the full reassembly because I am going to have to find out where that rubber piece came from and put it back. But you get the point. Put back the screws here, 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 here. Alright, close up the cover. Make sure you have this thermal pad here. And then basically just drop it back in place. Okay, push it all down, make sure it gets all clipped back in place, and then put back all the T5 screws, and don't forget the 2 screws under here. Anyways, let's see if it's going to power on. Sometimes after pulling the battery, you're going to have to plug it back in or it won't turn on, but let's see. Okay, the power light is going back on, but that's what was happening before. So when it did that, that was actually a motherboard issue. So I have a feeling the problem is still going to be there. It wasn't a RAM issue. It's most likely from the liquid that they spilled on it. So yeah, nothing's happening. Just this power light is coming on. Alright. Yeah, so it looks like this computer's completely fried the main board. So I'm pressing the power button. It turned off. Okay. Push it, it turns back on, but nothing happens. But anyways, hopefully this video helped you guys at least to see what's inside your computer. And yep, thank you for watching. If it helped, please like and subscribe, help others find my videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.